Good morning, welcome to Morning Review. This is Kim speaking on Wednesday, the 19th of October. Looking at the euro dollar first, and as you can pretty much see from this daily picture, we're still in this reasonably good downward trend here. It looks from the 4 hourly that we could break these lows here and run off towards. I'm still looking at that S3 sort of target from the size of this previous wedge here. Downside is my sort of target is at S3. So, as I say, got a reasonable potential of doing so, but we'll see. Looking in the intermediate time frame here on the hourlies, it's tried through the Asian session to break out of this sort of downward trend. I've just put a regression channel in there just to give us a clearer sort of view in this sort of intermediate time frame. But at the moment, it's got this trend line going across the lows here, which it's trying to break. So it's really looking at the moment that it's already hit a daily pivot that it could be off for the S1. So that's where I'm sitting at the moment. I'm looking at the more bearish side of things and looking at the potential for that to sell off. Now, of course, we may get an intermediate time rally as we run towards the 8 o'clock pivot, but at the moment it's looking bearish. Moving on to the pound. Well, the pound has been in this very extreme sell-off here. We've seen a bit of a rally yesterday. It pulled up quite a bit there, run into its daily 8 now, and there's the question is whether it can hold into this area or whether we're going to see more of sustained selling again. Looking at some of the patterns here, it's sort of in this sort of, as I was speaking in the room yesterday, a bit of a transitional period and different time frames, and it looks, well, yep, it could sell back off to the towards that 4 hourly 21, maybe a little bit further. In a very short-term time frame, I've got it as a bit oversold, but of course, that is the very short time frames on this in this intermediate time frame in the hourlies here. You can see it's broken this rising trend that we were sitting in. It's broken through the 20s, selling off at the moment, and well, there's the 60-50, which again, if it does continue the sell side, we could see a move down to there. Now, one thing with the pound, of course, it's been sold off quite horrendously, quite harshly over the last days, weeks. We could see some more profit taking off from those short positions. And if we do, I'd expect the pound to start rallying a little bit. Haven't really, it's a bit harder to, I was going to say, I haven't really got an entry for the long side. There is a very steep trend line running across here that perhaps if we see that broken to the upside, it would give us more opportunities to see, well, perhaps a move back up that way. But at the moment, yeah, erring south side maybe towards that 60-50. Dollar yen. Dollar yen looks like it's rolling here. It's certainly, depending on how you look at it, it seems to be putting a top in. It's broken through some key moving averages. It's finally got through its daily 8. It's held up on last 2 occasions on that point and been pushing up higher. It's on the short intermediate time. It's a rather choppy in for long periods of this, and my thoughts here is, well, it's sold off through this 8 part of the Asian session. We've seen a bit of a sell-off. Is it just going to now just hold up and consolidate a little bit more, which it has big tendencies to do. So as much as it looks like it could be rolling over more, how much more is it going to just consolidate this morning? And where would I be looking for the short side more so on it? I mean, it certainly on the short side could be looking for the daily 21, but where's it more difficult to get an entry at the moment? And I don't want to be just selling on a break of this current bars low or anything like this. There is marginal divergence running across, and I say marginal because I wouldn't look at it too much. So there's a bit of a, I mean, it has come back up quite a way, actually, not too far between those lows there. So we may, just to say, just get some consolidation, and it may be later that we can actually see a pattern to if we were looking for further downside on that. Okay, Aussie dollar. and the Aussie dollar. Okay, so the Aussie dollar once again, yesterday it got pretty close up to those highs there, and we're doing it again. And we've got this sort of inverted head and shouldery pattern on the dailies that you expect at some point there's going to be selling, there's going to be a load of buy stops sitting above these highs here, maybe some still left from there and the previous high, etc. And you just expect at some point for them to be we'll see a rush on those stops. But looking at the 4-hourly, and I say but here, at the 4-hourly we've got divergence, certainly clear divergence on that 4-hourly chart there at the moment. Now, if we see a break of the 4-hourly 8, well, perhaps we'd see a bigger retracement to the 21. However, it is holding up pretty well. I mean, yesterday it consolidated, and it's just consolidating and consolidated, and it's not really wanting to go too far at the moment. It's sitting comfortably on its daily pivot at the moment. Maybe a break of that daily pivot would give us a move back down towards the hourly 50 or the S1, but it almost to me looks like, well, if it gets any traction at all and starts moving to the upside, I know this bar's not finished yet, but if we see a break above this trend, it could be on for its R1 there. Canadian dollar benefiting a little bit, or has been benefiting a little bit from its oil price and a bit of selling on the US dollar, but it too is finding a bit of possible support here. It ran in yesterday into the monthly pivot back into that 50 MA where it seems to find support regularly recently, and it's done so again. Now, if anything, at the moment, it's sort of possible in a bit of a transitional period. Is it going to start pushing up now? Well, is it just going to consolidate for a while more this morning? Well, we could be looking at drawing a line across these highs here and looking for the long side off this. Equally, we could just be looking at a break of these lows here for the downside. So that current pattern at the moment looking a little bit indecisive for me at the moment. Okay, that's it for me. Have a great one. Sorry, before I do that, let's just talk about the news events that are coming through here. We've got earnings coming through this morning and employment figures for the UK, even at 9:30. And then later on, the Bank of Canada Monetary Policy Committee, etc. at 3. That's pretty much it. Crude oil inventory is 330 US. Bank of Canada press conference at 4:15. So there's a bit of data out this afternoon, leading from actually building permits 130, less of an interest there, but certainly some data out there. Okay, that's it for me. Bye for now.